It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
And it's your real estate breakfast across this Easter long weekend. Yes, unpacking what's really happening in the Aussie property market, and another big Saturday property show coming up, including diving into the economy. Is it proving more resilient than expected? Plus, first home buyers, are rising rates and cost pressures starting to really affect and bite you hard. We'll also take a look at investors. How are you balancing higher holding costs against tight rental supply? And if you're thinking of selling, a quick reminder here that we're not a real estate agency, but we do have a trusted, curated network of top-performing agents across the country. Choosing the right agent is always a bit of a challenge. There are plenty of them, plenty of agencies, but they're not all equal. And because we speak with leading agents and award-winning principals nationwide, we can help simplify that decision. All you've got to do is just email us at myrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. Tell us your area that you are in, and we will connect you with the right people. As easy as that. On this Saturday morning, April the 4th, Robert Downey Jr. is celebrating his birthday with you. If you're celebrating today, he's turning 61. Heath Ledger, can you believe it? He would have been 47 today. Hugo Weaving, also celebrating a birthday, turning 66. And on this day, back in 1975, Microsoft was founded by Bill Gates and Paul Allen. And it was on this day in 1983 that the Space Shuttle Challenger makes its maiden flight. Now, I want to talk about the Sunshine Coast, one of my favourite destinations. It is transformed from a string of quiet coastal villages into one of Australia's most desirable lifestyle markets. Originally, it was built on agriculture, timber, and small beach communities, and it has evolved through tourism in the 1970s and 1980s. Today, infrastructure, we've got population growth and interstate migration have completely reshaped the region into a thriving property hotspot, blending lifestyle appeal with economic expansion, making it a key destination for both homeowners and investors. Many holiday makers are there right now for this long holiday weekend. So if you are on the Sunshine Coast, enjoy as we take you up the road and into Brisbane to catch up with Asti Mardiasmo from PRD. And you have often spoken about the Sunshine Coast because of the way that it has blown up with these property values since COVID. And good morning to you, Asti.
Good morning. The Sunshine Coast, like you have said, have transformed itself. It's no longer just tourism. We now have so many different businesses that have set up shop in the Sunshine Coast, and big banks, big businesses as well. And of course, we can't forget that Sunshine Coast is one of the homes of the Brisbane 2032 Olympics and Paralympics Athletes Village. Of course, there's more investment into upgrading the infrastructure, the roads. There's more oomph in the Sunshine Coast more than ever before.
Plenty of oomph is right. That is an understatement, isn't it? Let's have a look at Australia's economy this morning, because is it holding up better than many expected? Fewer than 1% of households are in negative equity and mortgage arrears, both for 30 and 90 days, remaining below 1.5% as it trends down into our 2026. So, Asti, is that telling you that the foundation of the real estate market is still very stable?
It definitely tells us that we are in a better position than a lot of other countries. and that we are having that more solid foundation. And that basically comes off from the fact that we had 3 cash rate cuts in 2025, which meant that during that time, we actually had an increase of people putting more money into their mortgage offset. Because obviously, we have households being able to save a little bit more on their home loan repayments. What many households have done is that they have put it into their mortgage offset. And so that does create a bit of a buffer for any other interest rate hikes that might happen this year. And that's why right now we're seeing, like you've just said, under 1.5% of home loans are in any arrears risk. And whether it's 30 days or 90 days, the property market has been going strong for the past, since post-COVID. And that is why less than 1% of Australian households are in negative equity. When you combine all of that together, it does give us a more solid foundation for what's about to happen for the rest of 2026.
Yeah, and the question now is whether global tensions, particularly in the Middle East, starts to shift sentiment locally. I mean, so far, any impact looks indirect. It's more about confidence and borrowing behaviour than any immediate hit to prices. Or are you seeing something different to what I'm looking at?
We're definitely seeing a dip in the consumer confidence reading. So the last reading that we had for March was at 91.6 index points. And that's one of the lower ones that we've seen in the past 6 months. So we definitely can see that there is, a bit of fear starting to come into the market. People are becoming more cautious in terms of their spending and they're preferring to save. It's not as bad as, say, COVID times when the index went down all the way to 70 index points. So we're not at that stage yet, but we're definitely seeing that uncertainty starting to creep into the market right now.
Yes, and where we may see movement is across different buyer groups. First home buyers, especially those who entered with low deposits, they're more sensitive to these rate changes and cost pressures that you're talking about. Investors, on the other hand, they're weighing up all of those higher costs against strong rental demand and tight supply.
Yeah, so it's really interesting to see how it hits different demographics or, different people within the property market. So first home buyers who access the 5% scheme, obviously they have a much higher interest on their home loans. And, technically they've borrowed 95% of their home equity compared to any first home buyers who have entered the market in a traditional way where they have put up that 20% deposit. So they're on an 80% loan value ratio. Those who entered with only 5% is more susceptible to any interest rate rises. And we did see Westpac the other day predicting that there might be another 3 interest rate rises for the rest of 2026. The same with investors, because obviously investors are currently locked into, whether you still have 6 months left or 8 months or just locked into a new rental agreement of 12 months. That's your rental income, right? As opposed to it changing on a month-by-month basis. I do have investor clients who is currently weighing up, do I have enough resources to be able to cover any home loan increases for the next 12 months, or at least for the length of my rental contract, and what can I do after that rental contract have finished? Yes, there is still a rental crisis, but at the same time, we're also starting to see the advertised rent not growing or not increasing as much as before. So beforehand, advertised rents were almost double, whereas now we're seeing more of like a 20 to 25% increase in advertised rent.
Asti Mardiasmo is with us on our Saturday Property Show, and if you're going to be on the roads today, drive carefully. Plenty of idiots who are prepared to take risks out there, putting you and your family in danger, so be extremely careful.
From the emotion of property, the economic inflation, Managing your expectations, lack of stock, price growth, construction appetite, days on the market. Stay informed with us and know your property. You're listening to the Saturday Property Market Update.
It's a Real Estate Saturday, and good luck as always around property today. Barbara Corcoran, a successful American real estate investor. You might know her from Shark Tank in the US. Here is a little bit of inspiration for you if you are wanting to become a successful investor of property. Barbara began her career with a $1,000 loan while working as a waitress, launching a small Manhattan brokerage that grew into the Corcoran Group. She managed to pioneer marketing-driven real estate, introducing the Corcoran Report, an early data-driven market analysis that shaped New York housing insights, and her innovative approach built one of New York's most recognized real estate brands before she sold the company for $66 million back in 2001. And a quote from Barbara Corcoran this morning: "Don't you dare underestimate the power of your own instinct." Yeah, that's great, isn't it, Asti?
I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, what's really interesting, Craig, is that the other day I was actually watching Netflix series called Selling Manhattan. That particular brand was definitely mentioned a few times in the show and the type of deals that they were creating. I always say to everyone as well, when it comes to your gut feeling, when it comes to your gut instinct, if you believe that this is something that you want to do, something that you can do, do not let anyone stop you. No matter what they say, no matter any challenges or any blockages that they might throw your way, if this is what you want to do, then move forward.
Go for it is the way to do it. Now, looking ahead over the next 3 to 6 months, the market feels like it is going to be moving to a more cautious phase if we're not already there. Demand should remain, but buyers are likely to be more selective, more price aware, and, dare I say it, slower to act, particularly if global uncertainty continues to linger with this conflict.
Well, we're already seeing some of it translating. So last week before Easter weekend, the clearance rate in Sydney was 55% and the Melbourne auction clearance rate was 59%. And those are some of the lowest clearance rates for those two capital cities that we have seen in the past 24 months. That does show that there is now a bit more cautiousness in the market and people taking their time a little bit more to make sure that, you know, it's the right decision. So we're definitely seeing more clients, you know, questioning the value, what will happen in the next 6 to 12 months, which unfortunately is a little bit out of our hands at the moment. And, you know, being, like you said, a bit more cautious, making sure they're getting their bang for their buck.
Yeah, bang for the buck. And talking of that, Easter in Australia has become less about tradition and more about movement. You know, one of the busiest travel periods of the year is right now, and it does represent that over Easter, it is a testing ground for lifestyle locations where someone books accommodation and then asks the question, can I move and live here? And if you are listening to us right now, perhaps from an Airbnb somewhere across the country and wondering whether or not you can live in that location, good luck to you. Well, we'll wrap it up there, our Saturday morning property show. Asti, enjoy your long weekend and talk again soon.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your long weekend. I'm currently camping in Flying Fox in Queensland. And definitely I was actually one of those people when we were driving here from Brisbane thinking, this might be a nice place to live one day, you know, with all of the lush greeneries and the rivers and the creek and everything. It's a really, really nice campsite and a really nice place.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.